Whoa, what's that on my head? Anyways, what's going on? This is Matt's SqueakyClean here, and today, pretty cool and different one for you guys. This is an odd one. Can you buff out wrap? Absolutely, yes, you can. Stay tuned. Okay, so this is an Avery wrap. I think it's about 4 years old, actually. And this is the result of buffing out wrap. Literally polishing wrap. You got to be careful. There's a certain couple of steps you need to take. But you can go from something like this, which is hazy. Can you guys see the haziness? So over time, like in my case it was overspray because I do paint once in a while in the garage, and I'm just lazy sometimes. And what happens, I don't put a cover on the Civic because then I know I can buff it out. It just means I have to put in extra work. But as you guys can see the overspray on the actual wrap. We can actually buff that out, and I did right here. Look at the difference. Absolutely restored optical quality. Any kind of small little scratches that were there. There's some little scratches here that get hidden away. And how do you go about doing it? Well, very simple. I use the DA. I have a brushless DeWalt DA. I love this thing. It's a bit pricey, but it's totally worth it. Set it up to about 2,500 RPM. Using an interface or using an orange pad from Chemical Guys, and I'm using VD4, which is the all-in-one polish sealant, polish shine protectant, and literally go at it. Set it at that. Just gently apply it. Apply pressure. And what happens eventually as you're kind of buffing out, going back and forth, you're going to start getting a little bit of sort of like a wet to it. The buildup of the wax is going to start becoming wet. That's how you know that you're pretty much buffed it out. And yeah, so I mean, you guys can get rid of minor little scratches by literally polishing wrap. In my case, I kind of had to do it because I had a little bit of an overspray. As you guys can see, there's oversprays here. So there's haziness. There's so much overspray here. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to get isopropyl. Whoa. That's my DA that just fell down. Have no fear. It is DeWalt. And DeWalts are built tough. So let's try it out to see if it works. Absolutely. But anyways, this time I'm going to put it up in sort of a different place. But what I do is I literally wipe the surface with, and as you guys can actually see as well here too, I'm using razor blades to get rid of sort of the overspray clear coat on my windshield. That also works really well for kind of a cleaning the windshield. This guy, I've never really cleaned the windshield yet. It does need a wash, so I figured by basically scraping off all the overspray and stuff like that over the years of me spraying in the garage, it's a good way to sort of clear the glass as well too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a wash tomorrow, and also kind of cleans any sort of stuck impurities onto the glass. So I think of it as a two-way, 2-for-1 basically. I'm going to clean all my glass. I'm going to polish up all my my wrap to kind of bring back the optical clarity. As you guys can see, there's overspray here, which is pretty rough, but all that will buff out. Very, very simple. As I said, first clean the surface with isopropyl alcohol to make sure or wash the car to make sure there is no, dust, because it's pretty dusty. And then go right at it. A DA, set about 2,400 RPM, orange interface pad, some all-in-one polish and sealant. So what I'll do is basically once I've polished up the whole car, I'm going to, this is basically the hood was a test, but I'm going to, once I polish up the whole car, prior to polishing, obviously I'm going to wash it tomorrow because today was a pretty shitty rainy day, but I just wanted to sort of test out the hood, and it turned out great. I'm going to wash it. I'm going to, disinfect it or clean it with isopropyl alcohol. I have in a spray bottle like this from the Chemical Guys as well. This is not a plug, but their stuff is really, really good. And once I wash it, I'm going to basically disinfect the car, and the surface, and then I'm going to go with the DA and I'm going to polish it up. You got to take your time, be gentle. You will need to do probably maybe 3 or 4 passes, but you just basically keep going back and forth, just like this, like this, like this, until you guys are going to start to see wetness. I'm going to demonstrate to you in a minute what I mean by the wetness. I'm going to basically buff that out, and I'm going to sort of zoom into what kind of what you guys want to, you know, what stage you guys want to go to. But night and day difference. Like, you could literally restore the optical quality of your wrap, provided it's not peeling and stuff like that. Mine isn't. This is the original Avery, so it's really good condition. Nardo Gray. I will eventually paint the car. I'm learning how to paint, so I will eventually paint it the same color, but for now it's going to stay wrapped. I just wanted to share this with you. A quick little tip that you can actually polish out the wrap. I'm probably going to seal it with a sealant after and put a coat of wax on top of it, just gently in order to protect it. But you can literally sort of, in a way, certain wraps treat like paint. I don't really, I still think paint is king personally, but this is pretty darn good. So hopefully this helps you guys out. A little trick that worked for me, and I'm pretty happy about that, because the overspray, I thought I'm going to have to rewrap the car, but I was able to restore it, and I know it's working on other panels. So this is a good way, for example, to also give, you know, sort of a fresh buff to your wrap, in order to bring out the shyness and get rid of some little minor scratches. And as well, it's a good way for you guys to get rid of any overspray or any sort of contaminants that you guys have, provided, of course, you know, the substrate, which is your wrap, is in good condition, right? And just be careful. Don't, you know, move back and forth. Don't just, you know, don't just stay in one area. But this is pretty good for restoration of optical quality. Just don't you know, try to burn through in one area. But with a DA and at 2400 or 2500 RPMs, you guys are pretty safe. You won't do it. So all the best, and I will take a picture tomorrow of how the car looks like, all buffed out and clean. Stay tuned. That's how you guys know that it's been buffed out. There you go. So you're buffing it out in order to create this kind of a wetness. Once you guys see the wetness, you guys can kind of go on to a different area. And then by going back and forth, that removes a lot of sort of the impurities. This trunk actually yeah, that's the wetness you want. Just keep moving until you guys get to wetness. That means that it's on top of the surface. This is what works for me. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to another area in order to achieve the wetness. And I keep sort of going around and buffing until I get it. And yeah, so that pretty much works.